guys, welcome back to another week of building the Caldercraft HMS Victory. As I stated at the end of the last video, we're going to be planking the mid gun deck. We don't have to plank all of it. I think it's only between frames 4 or 5 and frames 12, and then it's only out to the bulkhead risers. We don't have to go all the way to the hull of the ship. So at the moment all I'm doing is cutting 10cm planks, because according to my HMS Victory book it had a 4-butt shift pattern, and having nice even numbers is a nice way to make sure you get that shift happening neatly, at least for me anyway. So once I've cut them, I clamp them up. Here's some I prepared earlier, and I just use a pencil to darken the edges, simulate the caulking. I'm actually tossing up whether on the main deck whether I put thread between the planks. I'm not sure yet. I've seen a few people do it. Sometimes it looks good and sometimes it just looks like the black between the planks is just too dark, so I'm not sure what I'll do with the top deck yet. This one doesn't worry me so much because you're not going to see a lot of it. Basically I'm just taking one plank, cutting it up into the 10cm lengths, and then I do the edges and then I do the next plank. I've got some done already, so I'll probably start that in a minute, and then if I need more I'll make more up. And then I've also made up some 75mm planks, some 50s and some 25s, which I'll use at the start of each row, alternating it, so we end up with that 4-butt shift pattern. So I'll set the camera up so we can see that deck and then we'll start. Put a board across each end where I'm planking to, as well as a centre line down the middle, so I can work my way evenly out from it. In hindsight I probably should have left these deck supports out, because at the time, I think I mentioned it in the video, the instructions didn't mention putting them in, but the plans show them going in place, so that's why I put them in there. But I can see now I didn't really need to do it yet. I've put white glue on the bottom of this plank, which, as I said, is 10cm long. Once it dries, I'll cut the opening out for the mast there. For the next row I put a 25mm plank at the beginning, and then the next line will be a 50mm and then a 75mm, and then we go back to a full plank after that. 50mm plank. And then another full plank. And we put a 750mm plank in. Supposed to check the full length planks when you cut them too, because some of these haven't been the same width, they've varied a little bit along the length of it. So that completes the first full butt shift pattern. As you can see, we have a variation of 4 places where the planks butt up against each other, and then we just repeat it all the way across and back the other side, which is what the mid deck on the Victory has. The only difference is the lengths probably aren't correct. I just did this at 10 centimeters just to make it easier for myself, particularly because it's not really going to be seen a lot. When I do the top deck, I'll make sure the actual lengths are accurate. And then, as I said, we just go back to starting with a full length plank again. So I'll continue on with this. All I'll do as far as the video goes is I'll show you some of it, I'll speed it up so it's not too boring, and then I'll get back to you then. Just going to fill in this entryway through here. I measured it, it's 45mm across, so I've cut about 12 strips, which should be enough. That side done as far as the actual deck is concerned. I'll go ahead and do the other side on my own, and then we still have a fair bit more to do. We've got to do the nailing. This has to be sanded, varnished. We have a ring that goes around where the mast goes through to put on, and we've also got to with walnut planks plank the inside of this entryway as well. So still plenty to do. I'll be back shortly. I'll probably just scoot through most of this because it'll be quite monotonous and boring. Deck now that it's dry, and I made it hard for myself by putting in these supports. So I won't show any more of the sanding. I'll come back when I start marking the nail points. On this deck I'm only marking them with pencil. On the upper decks I'm still debating whether I'll do tree nails or not. But as I said, it's going to be very difficult to see this deck, so I don't think I have to get too carried away. Oops, missed one. So yeah, I'll keep going, finish the rest, and then we'll return when we varnish the deck. Just putting a matte varnish on. I'll end up doing 2 coats, so I'll let this dry, and I'll give it a very light sand with 2000 grit paper, and then go over it again with the second coat. So I won't show again much of this, it's pretty much the same, nice and easy. And then once this is dry, we will put the ring around the mast hole there. We have to shape it a little bit to allow for the slight angle that the mast goes through it. And then, after reading the instructions again, I thought that we had to line this side of the opening here, but we don't. We're actually going to line the inside of that doorway, so we'll do that also this week. Okay, so I'll keep going ahead and get this done, and then as I said, we'll come back and we'll put that ring on. I'm just going to put the mast ring, I can't remember the proper term for it, around the hole there. So just put a little bit of glue on the edge. just to make sure it's lined up. Oops. Give it a couple of seconds to bond, and then I'll pull the mast out. Okay. One thing I found, when you cut this piece out of the board, it snaps right through in the middle. So I had to re-glue this back together before I put it in there, and then I've just put a walnut stain on it for now. So yeah, let that dry for a little bit, and then we're going to line this doorway through here using 16mm by 1mm board. So as I said, I'll just give that a couple of minutes, and then we'll start lining this doorway. So we're going to be lining this door.
Okay, we're going to start with lining this door.
I'll probably only do this one on camera. I'll do the other side.
Before.
So what I've done, I've just made a box
out of it.
Out of that 16mm
when I
by
made this up,
1mm
I just
wood.
Literally
just
each side,
the up and down, cut that,
and then measured the
and
inside,
then measured
away the
the
2
inside,
millimeters for the
taking
width
away the
of the
2mm
sides,
for the
and then
outside
I've just
wood we're
glued them
putting in,
together.
and then just literally
So
glued
we'll
it together.
Put that in there.
Just fit it.
It literally fit 2 minutes ago. As soon as the camera
I should
shows
put this
that,
in
I think
before it
I'll
should
do-
fit.
Here we go.
Okay.
So just push that in till the bottom is level
Put it in.
side of the hull.
Oops. Okay, just so the bottom lines up with the
Just got to
outside
mark
there,
where that's sitting.
and we've got to draw a
You'll have
line
to sand that back so it's
around.
flush with the side of the hull there.
Pop it out.
So yeah, that's
And
where
that
we've got
line,
to sand it back to.
We're going to have to
And then we've got to
cut
make a
or sand
matching
back
angle
so that when you push it in, it's
inside.
nice and flush around there. And then we're going to do the
Make
same
sure
thing on the other
that
side
the full width
at a
of that
matching
then
angle,
depth
because
is
that's what the
only
instructions
8
call for.
millimeters.
Because in the
So
end,
we'll also have to
they
do
only
the
want
same
this
thing
about
on the
8
other
millimeters deep.
to an 8mm.
So we'll get this one
So
cut or sanded back
I'll get
on
my
the side,
Dremel
which, yeah,
and we'll sand
and
that
then
back.
we'll do the other side and put it in.
Okay, now that it's close, I'll just still the final 0.5 millimetre or so, but it is. Get it nice and flat with a sanding disc, or sanding block rather. Okay, we'll just give that a try now, see how well it fits. Sand that back a little bit, so it's nice and flat. Get the side of the ship.
So now we need to get the exact, or at least we have to thin this so it's only about 8 millimeters deep. Okay, so I'm going to sand that down in exactly the same way, and then we'll glue that into the doorway. Now 8 millimeters from top to bottom, or the depth of it is, so we'll put that in here. Which way does it go? That way. So I'll get some glue and we'll glue that from the back. So I'll just run some CO glue. sure it's still lined up correctly. And it is. There we go. So I'll do the other side off camera. It's going to be exactly the same, and then I'll be back. Now added the frame to the entryway on the other side of the ship. I haven't looked ahead, but I'm guessing that the reason they only want that 8mm thick is because maybe there's going to be an inner wall there. I'm not sure yet, so that'll turn up at some point down the track. So we've got this now lined. We've got the main mast sleeve in there, and then lined the entryways. So that means next week we'll be starting on the second layer of planking, which should take longer than the first layer because it just has to be perfect. So thanks for joining me, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.